Guys, last week we formally launched our Open 14 campaign, and I hope that some of you, I know many of you got over to do a tour and to write on the walls, but many of you didn't. We hope for another opportunity for that soon. But I want to remind you, please continue to pray as the building is being constructed. Pray for protection over all the workers. Pray for the financial provision that's yet needed. And you know, I've shared with a couple people this week that I tend to walk up there alone and just pray inside. And I feel the Spirit of God there. And I'm just so grateful for what God is doing and providing. We have promised to keep you updated through our website and through regular communications, including the church. And so we want to invite Amy Vincent at this time to give a brief overview or update on her heart on Open 14. So let's welcome Amy.
My name is Amy Vincent, and I am a member of the Open 14 Leadership Cabinet. And I was asked to come to you this morning to share my heart, specifically what Open 14 means to me. So I'm going to ask, before I get to that, just in advance, that you just show me a little grace, because I'm going to have to be a little transparent with you. And transparency doesn't always feel very good when you have to say it. But the building campaign originally started as J2GI. And I had been serving on the Board of Trustees for the past 3 years. So it's a campaign that I knew very intimately and looked at on a weekly basis. And through that time, I struggled deeply with this campaign. Frustration from questioning, why is it taking so long? Frustration from why do we not have the money? Frustration of where do we go from here? Just frustrated. And the enemy kept growing that and growing that. And I didn't know what to do with it. And I struggled and struggled very privately over that. My time on the Board of Trustees came to a close, and I just really decided that I wanted to keep that building thing at an arm's distance. I really didn't want to get involved in it anymore. I'd had enough, and I just needed to sort things out because I was struggling serving. So my husband, Trey, and I were approached to join the leadership cabinet. And that put me in a position of serving once more in something that I had been frustrated over. But Trey told me it was the right thing to do, and we needed to get behind it. And so through my submission, knowing that the Lord was leading him, that's what I would do. And I kind of distanced myself. I didn't become very involved, very unlike myself. I didn't attend the meetings, didn't get on the conference calls, didn't offer up my best, and just kind of kept it all at a distance because I didn't really want to hear about it. And I thought, if I keep it at a distance, there's enough people. I'm just a name on an email. Maybe nobody will notice that I'm not really present and my heart is not there. However, the Lord just wasn't pleased with that, and he started dealing with me on this. And we have a saying in our home that we use a lot, that he hides it for the hungry. And I realized that I was not hungry for this. My heart was not hungry, and that I had to deal with this. So last week we had an Open 14 conference call, getting ready for the launch. Very exciting time for us. We'd worked very hard. And in that conference call, I was told that Maureen and Bill Higgins were going to go first, and Trey and Amy, you need to go ahead and get your story together because you're going to be up next. And sitting on that conference call, I quickly realized I didn't have a story. I didn't have anything to say. What was I going to do? Because I can't say that I can't do it. So since I'm a temporary resident on the campus here for a while, I was sitting in the parking lot that night on the conference call, and it closes, and I hang up, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the dike on a Wednesday night through that massive amount of rain, and just calling out to God and saying, I'm here, I'm serving. My heart's not right, so if you want a story, you're going to have to give it to me. You're going to have to help me see it, because I just can't see it right now, and I don't know what to do. So obviously, if you've ever prayed that prayer or something similar, then you know God will answer you, and He will show up, and He will reveal Himself. So that next morning, about 5 a.m., we were awakened with those sirens letting us know that the floodwaters were here, that Manville was flooding. And all of a sudden, it got real. I was all of a sudden living that story. 6:30, they moved the bulldozers. You can hear the equipment coming through. And at 7:15, we get a knock on the door, letting us know we could stay or we could go. But if we stay, we don't know what the day is going to bring, because we're several hours from the river peaking, and we don't know what that's going to bring. And if we stay, if something happens, somebody may not get to us. But if we go, there's one way out. It's going to have about 6 to 8 inches of water, but we can make it. But if we want to leave, we have to leave now. So as a mother of a toddler, the thought of being stuck in a house, not knowing what's going to happen, is terrifying. So we packed up and we drove. And we drove through that water. And as we drove through those 8 inches of water, looking out on the side of the car, just realizing this is real. And we are currently living in that from year to year, because the river's never going to stop flooding. And then I realized that there were people that couldn't go. They were stuck behind me. They were still here. So where was I going to be? So I quickly realized that God is answering my prayer, and He's given me that story. And instead of obligation, I now understood this was His vision, and I want to be hungry for it. I want to be hungry for missions. I want to be hungry for the hearts that are going to come to know Him, but they're going to come to know Him in that space across the street. And so I share with you my heart, because Open 14 is something very personal to me. It's not an obligation, it's a service that I want to fulfill with all that I am. And more importantly, I want to be hungry. I want to be hungry to be there, and I want to be hungry to take that journey. So I want to encourage you to be hungry with us. Be hungry on the journey. Be hungry to be there. If you've currently, or if you have given to Open 14 or J2GI, thank you so much. And we'd continue to ask you to be a part of the journey through prayer, through donations, whatever your heart is. But if you haven't taken that step in joining that journey, I want to encourage you to join us, because it's an intense journey, and it's going to take all of us, because God has given us an identity at Zarephath. We are a place of refinement, and there are hearts that are coming to us, and we need that place, and we want to be hungry for that. You can visit open14.org for continual updates. If you have questions, you can submit them there. You can donate, or you can see us after the service. We'll be outside. We'll pray with you. We'll answer your questions. We'll talk to you, whatever you need to start your journey to be hungry for this. We'll be here. Thank you.